being in an office, right? So I figured I was good at accounting. I was doing bookkeeping for other businesses. What can I get into that I can make the same amount of money and be my own boss? So I decided, hey, why don't I start investing in real estate? I've saved some money. I can leverage, get lines of credit. My family pretty much can build the house, or we can remodel it, no problem. Let me get involved in real estate investing. So as I met with realtors, I wasn't as fortunate enough to run into someone like Brandy when I first started. So everyone would give me the runaround. Countless times I would call a listing and they wouldn't return the calls. Other agents would be like, well, how many properties do you own? Oh, this is my first one. So they didn't really show interest. So instead of me wasting my time any longer, I said, you know what, let me get my real estate license and do it myself. So I actually went to Champion School of Real Estate. That's where I got my license. And, took the test, got my real estate license, so I can represent myself. So once that happens, they didn't tell me, then I had to interview with brokers, right? So the Keller Williams started calling, the Weingarten, the Remaxes, everyone wants you, right? So you guys, once you get your test and you pass, everyone's going to email you guys wanting to meet Gary Green. It's like you guys are, the next big thing. Yeah, fresh meat. So, I decided to go with a smaller brokerage. She was an older lady. She's been doing it for 30 years. Her name was Lisa Barnes in Bel Air. And she gave me an opportunity. She said, I'm on my way out of the business. I can give you a lot of my leases. You can help me with that. You can do my open houses. I can show you. So I thought it would be a great fit. So I hung my license with Lisa Barnes Properties. From there, I was able to, through a mutual friend of myself and Brandy's, Donna Ma, she was going to leave the brokerage and go to Boulevard Realty, which is a big, I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but they're huge. They're in the Heights. They have an office off of Kirby as well. So I heard, word on the street that he wouldn't take any new agents. So for me, I was a little bit intimidating. I didn't know what to expect. But through a mutual friend, I got 5 minutes of the broker's time to talk to him. So I met with him. 5 minutes turned into an hour. That's when I went into Boulevard Realty. That's how I met Brandy. A year later, we started our own brokerage. So real estate was just, it went from me getting into investing to making it a career. As soon as I said, hey, I got my real estate license, friends and family wanted me to help sell their houses. They wanted me to represent them, buy a house, first-time home buyers. So it went from me wanting to do it for myself and actually having friends and family wanting me to represent, because they were tired of all the first people not returning their phone calls and they didn't feel like they can trust them. So, and it's been great ever since, man. It's fun. I can start my day at 10:30. I can start my day at lunchtime. But you do work a lot of late hours. So 7 days a week. Our weekends are when we work the most, because that's when your clients' schedules allow. So, but it's definitely a good industry. And then you get to meet developers like Armistead and you build a relationship, and that kind of helps you out as well. I represent clients that buy a $6,000 piece of land, and then I represent clients that buy $1.2 million houses. So I treat everyone the same.
You say it's fun and good, and there are times when it's hard and rough.
So basically the hardest part is going to be you're your own boss, right? So you guys are all going to be your own CEOs. So you have to adapt. It's not every Friday you're not going to get a check. Every 2 weeks you're not going to get a check, right? You have to kind of get used to forecasting what you're going to make. So let's say you guys all sell a house tomorrow we put it under contract. Typically 30 days from now is when you're going to see your first check. So you have to be able to weather that storm, right? Be able to manage your finances to where you know, hey, in January 15th, I have money coming in. And then you just got to hurry up and sell another house. So every month you're kind of a net 30. That's going to be the toughest part.
And when they don't close.
And then if they don't close, then that's tough as well.
Yeah, that happened to me twice in December. I had two really good things under contract. They both fell out.
So that's another tough
You know.
one. But
I'm personally very interested in investment, so can you a little bit touch base on technical part of investment, how you syndicate bills? And I would assume you do just single family, not multifamily? Or?
so investment as far as a new construction for Armistead, or like the type of, so I own like 50 apartments. They're multifamily, right? So, but they're Class C, Class D.
You own it?
Yes.
50 units or 50 apartments?
50 total doors. So I have, a 10-unit complex. I have 4 duplexes. I have single-family homes. So a total of 50 doors. But, syndication and that type. I've been fortunate enough to have friends where we just get together and purchase as a group. Syndication, you do a lot of. There's a company in Dallas that they'll do these seminars where you're gonna buy 365 unit apartment complex, and they all get together. There's a key principal that manages everything, and then there's passive investors and all that.
Is that lifestyle group, lifestyle link?
That's one locally. On those, you guys just got to be very careful, right? Because there's people that all they do is just wait, and you guys are eager, you're excited. You want to be very careful because some of these guys can tell you they've been doing it for years, and 99.8% of the time they haven't. They're just waiting for the right mentee, or they want to find someone that's new to it because they know a little bit more than you, because they've gone to 20, 30 classes, 30 seminars. Just be very careful when it comes to syndication and the group purchasing, because the last thing you want to do is you've saved $40,000, $50,000 to do a group purchase, and then you give them the money, and now they're going to tell you, well, I can't give you $20,000 because we're waiting to sell this apartment, or we need it to fix the units. Just be very careful on that. So a lot of times what you do is, there's hard money lenders out there that you can start small. If you want to do real estate investment, I would start with a single family home. Duplex the most, and try it out by yourself. Talk to a realtor that's going to be honest with you. Get mentors, right? To me, it might sound crazy, but I have a lot of mentors, and it's better, right? You go and take them to have a nice dinner, but you pick their brain. I can say, hey, Armistead, let me take you to a nice steak dinner, but it's better. Or sometimes I rather make $1 a million times than try to make 10,000, 20,000 once. So I rather just learn from him and see how I can get involved with him. Other friends as well. If they're doing it and they're successful, where you can drive and see that he just put doors up. He has everyone that says they own 300 units or I have 1,000, just be careful. Because I've seen a lot of clients of mine that come to me after it's been too late. And it's tough because all the agreements that they sign, and there's a lot of package. So just be careful with the seminars. Be careful with wholesalers. They send you an email that says this is ACV is this much and you can flip it for this much. Go to the house, look at it. Sometimes it's not accurate. Stay away from non-refundable earnest money deposits. Do not do that. Hard money is okay if depending on the lender. There's some hard money lenders that they're in Ohio. They've never been in the Houston market. And they'll tell you, oh yeah, you're pre-qualified. It was 85% loan to value, and they don't know the city, right? They don't know nothing about it. The flexible thing too, you have to remember too, no matter how new you are, there's been times where I've been up against an agent, right? She has 10, 15, $1 million listings, right? And then they'll think that you're inexperienced, right? Just because you don't have the listing she has, she feels they control the deal. Well, guess what? When you're on the buyer side and you have someone that's going to put $800,000 cash on a $1.2 million house, you control the deal. Right? Right?
Cash is king.
Yeah. So you can't. So with me, like this particular house was 1.3 on the market. I remember asking Brandy, what do you think I should hit it at? She's like, well, you're really going to go 1,150,000? I'm like, yeah. And she was like, well, go for it.
That's aggressive.
So, right, the agent looked at me and she's like, are you serious with this offer? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. But let me know what your son thinks. If you like you said, if you don't ask, you're never gonna know, right? And I was flexible to expect no. I even had an expectation where she was gonna not even reply to my email or my phone calls. But that's what my client wanted to do, right? And eventually she said, no, the seller countered at $1.275 million. I'm like, so you went down $25,000. It's a start. So I went back and I said, okay, here's what's gonna happen. We're at 1.2 million, right? We have all this cash, and we can close before the holidays. Your seller's retired. The house needed $300,000 worth of renovation. I mean, it's outdated. Let's put a deal together. And luckily, we were able to make it happen. During the process on a big loan like that, my client was from China. Having to get the money coming in from China and all the delays. We went from a 30-day close to like 65-day close, right? And delay. And I thought the seller was going to walk. So I asked him for a minute. I was scared to ask for another 15 days. The lender, at the end of the last transition, sometimes the lenders are going to change, right? So they're like, well, the lender's asking them to bring another $100,000 to closing because they won't verify this gift from China. But you just got to overcome it. You just have to be transparent. I said, look, what do you want me to do? We're already waited 45 days. It's another 2 weeks. You're going to relist it. You're still not going to sell it. So you make it work. So just know that the other person on the other side, they want to make money as much as you. The other person you're negotiating is going to be part of your team for that transaction because if y'all don't make it work, none of y'all get paid. Just always have that and just be prepared to, don't spend what you expect that closing day before you actually close it because like Armstead said, sometimes it don't even happen. And sometimes it's one of those deals where if something happens during the transaction or with the lender, it's not going to be on you. And never take it personal, right? And Brandy will tell you, it's happened to me where I rather my client walk away from a deal and have that peace of mind because if we don't walk away and I push them to stay and make it work, I'll lose that client. They're going to be unhappy. They're not going to tell that when they're home, when they throw a party and all their friends and family come over because they're excited about the house, they're not going to tell them how great their buying experience was. They're not going to say, call Elio, he was great. Like, no, can you believe my agent told me I'm so unhappy? I've lost that. And referrals are going to be the best form of marketing for you guys. And networking, that's another thing, that's going to be the best thing. You can spend $10,000 a month on marketing in the Kroger cart. The reality is, if you're not out there, you're not.
I know that person. Oh my gosh.
It's one of those deals that it's not going to work. And the reality is, if it's a Kroger in an area where they're stronger at, that's what, like he said, find that niche. If no one's in a certain part of town, embrace that side of town. Know every lot, right? See what's available. It's impossible for you to know what every vacant lot is, right? But if you embrace that niche, and you know if multifamily is where you are, every morning when you wake up, go to HAR and see what new multifamily came on, what duplex is, and drive out there.